All right, third time's a charm. So, if you can tell by the title, I was hoping it would draw you in because I have a little nugget for you. Um, I found my straight white man. A lot of people, um, you know, um, I was watching It's Tea Time 2010, which is a collab channel, and they were talking about that in their socialization, resocialization as a man, they realize that when they're with a woman, a female, a girl, uh, whoever, like if they're at a restaurant or something like that, the waiter or waitress will talk to them. They will look to them to provide the answers for the female. In the same way, when issues of racism or sexism or any ism come up, they look not to the people who are experiencing it, but to the people who are as far away from it as possible to validate the hurting people's concerns. So, you know, Tim Wise, for example, if you don't know who he is, he's an anti racist, which is a very distinctive and important term. But he's white and he talks about white privilege and racism in America. And the reason that I believe that, he's important and effective is because people feel less threatened when they're approached with their own kind of, whatever. Like, for example, a lot of Republicans um, are on the, well, not a lot, but more than usual are on this, pro gay, however, whatever they support, be it, marriage, army, adoption, any sort of issue that's come up. And it's, the gay people have not convinced them up till now. It has to be someone that they knew who told them their friend was a gay son or their son come out gay or their sister or something like that, something that's close to them. But liberals saying it, they block it out. Same thing with people who say racist things. When a black person is offended, they're oversensitive, blah, 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 blah. You know, hey, white friend, what's up? Or with sexist jokes, you know, oh, you know, if a female speaks up, um, she's sensitive, she's on her period, all these horrible things. If a man says it, it's like, oh, okay, well, or they get made fun of, which is a whole nother issue. Anyway, so people are always looking for a straight white man to validate any sort of pain that marginalized groups are feeling. I have found my straight white man that I have been looking for, and I say that kind of with disappointment for myself, but it's something that I needed. I felt like everyone, a lot of people have kind of, written me off or been rude to me or um, not supported me, but, a lot of people have also. But the difference I find is the people who, are like, okay, cool, I'm cool with it. Um, those have been, people outside of the LGBT community. The people who are, rooting for me have all been um, associated with the LGBTQQIPAAP community. Um, I'm sure I left something out, but yeah. Um, and so, it was kind of hard for me because um, I realized that there's a big difference between what you know and what you believe. And, I definitely knew that, I was, not going to hell and all this other crazy stuff. And, I knew that gay people were of value. And, I knew all this. I had and I believed it, but I also, there was a little bit of doubt just from, um, not hearing it from anybody who was not also in the same boat. Um, and so for me, I was looking for validation for myself. um, from somebody who was not as close to the situation as I was. And I found that in Peter J. Gomes. I'm going to look this up because last time I had to wait. Okay. So I bought 5 of his. Well, I went on. La, 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 la. I followed this blog. The blog had a embedded video of him and a little blurb. Like, cool, you know. I typically just skim it, but this one I read and I watched the video, and it was good. Um, and I watched other things of his on YouTube. You should look him up, Peter J. Gomes. I'm, I'm live recording, so I can't edit it in, but um, and so somebody wanted either the blog or he or someone who introduced him mentioned a book, so I looked it up, and I decided I was gonna buy one of his books, and I there you know ended up buying all 5 of his books, and they'll be here within the next week or so, and I'll be doing reviews on them to let you know, you know how they've helped me because I am really hoping for that. And I like him because of his view on the Bible and that it is a means and not the end of God's will and God's word, which is part of the reason why I really liked the idea of going to a Quaker church, is because that's also what they believe. They believe specifically that there's the Old Testament, the New Testament, and then we are the third and continuing living testament, which is basically 2 ways to say the same thing. So I really like that, and yeah. So I wanted to make this short, and that's what I have to say. So I'll let you know how it goes. I'll put goodies below. All right.